At some point, we got on an overnight bus, which is interesting for me. This is the first time I'd ever been on an overnight bus. It has 3 aisles, I guess, of beds, kind of, or like really reclined chairs. And your head is propped up so that the person behind you can put their feet underneath where your head goes. So interesting, but not bad. It was, I was able to sleep for a while. I think that was a 16-hour ride with just one stop in the middle of it.
I had remembered one of the guys in Vietnam when I was traveling there. He had pulled out a roll of toilet paper, wet the ends, and made little balls and stuck them in his ear. And I didn't actually have any toilet paper at this time, so I earplugs, so I used the toilet paper, and it worked to pretty good effect for me.
Okay, so we got there in the morning, and it was supposed to be pretty easy to find our hostel from the bus station, but we had a little bit of trouble.
It's really awesome to have a compass when you're traveling around. Unfortunately, if your bus station is not on the map, but there is a bus station on the map, doesn't matter how good your compass is going to be, you're going to be really, really lost. Especially if no one speaks English or sort of cares to talk to you at this stage. So, yeah, we had a pretty good couple of, I'm going to say hour of brain scratching, being like, well, the compass says this is south and this should be here, but it's not. And then eventually we figured out that we were on like the super out of town bus station kind of.
We ended up enlisting the help of some police officers after walking away from the bus station for a little while, and they were trying to put us in a cab to take a cab to the hostel because it was too far to walk, I guess. But they couldn't hail a cab. It was too busy. They were all full and traffic was just insane, and they stood there with us for, God, it must have been half an hour before they finally got us in like a motorcycle scooter cab thing. And so that was cool. It was good enough. And we got to the hostel, which was in an old military barracks, which was kind of cool.
And we were driving through the archway of the wall that's still intact to get into the city, and it was amazing. These walls are so massively thick. Like probably a 4 or 5 lane highway bridge. Picture driving through one of those, or under one of those rather, and that's the thickness of these walls all the way around.
And today we're just wandering around trying to find the Muslim quarter, maybe get some food and just check out the city. I'll tell you what though, it is hot.
Walked around and we decided to walk down to what was called the Muslim quarter of the town, which was known as one of the last vestiges for great deals, like a kind of a market that you could go and see and pick up some random sort of things. So we went down and we quite quickly began to school ourselves in the art of bargaining, and it was really fun because although we wanted to buy a lot of the stuff, we never really felt that compelled that we had to buy something, and it really gave us a huge leg up in respect because we could just walk away and they would be really, really wanting us to buy some things. So, I mean, Kevin got the deal of a lifetime. It kind of felt like on one of the things that he did, but it was good.
We went to a traditional Chinese tea house, which was really cool. Just sampled many different kinds of teas and took a tour of a old, I think it would have been like a lord's house, like a kind of wealthy property owner back in, well, a long time ago in China. But pretty cool house. It's been restored somewhat and was kind of functioning as a museum.
Matt and Karen, please remember, Feng Shui in China is popular but easy for building. North direction higher, southern would be low, so please look around our rooms here is smaller and lower than master one because for servants before. So servants working here for laundry, for cooking, things like that. And usually this is cooking room. This is the family theater. We will be open next year.
We got to take a really short little seminar on Chinese calligraphy, which was pretty cool. We learned how to write our names and the Chinese characters for Canada, of course. The next day we went to see the Terracotta Army. Well, just to make things a little more interesting, the day that we were going to the Terracotta Warriors site, it started pouring down rain and flash flooding, and man, just got totally soaked walking from the bus like all the way across the museum complex to the first building we went into. So yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer.
After Xi'an, we got on a train, just in this impossibly busy train station. Pretty just eye-opening. You know, the parents have their babies and the butts are slit open in their pants, and they hold the baby's body like this, and they hold the legs up like they're a bundle of something, and they just, like, you know, drop poop. Okay, they're going to the bathroom. Straight down onto the floor inside the train station, and then they kind of pooper scoop. It's just like, the bathroom is right there. I know you don't want to go into it, nobody does, but that's why it's there. It's just like, so that was that, and as Kevin says, you know, it was something.
Oh, it sure was.
Yeah, it sure was. So, yeah, we made our way onto the train, and
yeah, sleeper train this time to go from Xi'an to a city called Chengdu, is in Sichuan province, and that I believe was a 17-hour overnight train ride. Not too bad. We were in what they call the hard sleepers, which means they're 6 bunks in each little section of the car, and we had the top bunks, I should say, which means you have about 2 feet of space above you. You can't even really begin to sit up or you'll hit your head on the ceiling, which I think we learned the hard way a couple of times. But it wasn't too bad overall. It was comfortable enough, and we got to sleep.
So, Kevin and I are on the sleeper train right now, and it's like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning.
What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong?
And this is how much sleeping space we have between our heads in the room. And we're on the 3rd bunk.
Jesus.
And we've been woken up by this wonderful music.
So shitty.
And we
my
still have
God.
another, I don't know, 10
9.
fucking hours on this train. And all we want to do is just sleep, but they turned on
Why?
us.
Why the fuck would you wake people up on it? Oh my god. I'm pissed. I'm fucking pissed.
This is what Kevin's righteous anger looks like.
It's gonna fall, get it.
I've just asked Kevin to get me a choco pie. He's not particularly happy about it. Delicious. As you can see, we have gratuitous amounts of room on this train. The music has stopped. Fancy an English muffin?
This is neither English nor a muffin. It will, however, take the remaining 4 hours of this train ride to eat, so that's kind of good.
Sure.
Can it be used for entertainment? Yes. Definitely. About 6 o'clock, the lights and the radio come on. And it's just this really loud, like, Chinese newscast. And, you know, there's no way to sleep through it, especially considering the speakers are on the ceiling and, you know, mere feet from our faces. So that was a little bit of a, well, whatever. Oh, China. Boy, you got us there.
Good. We got into Chengdu and pretty early in the morning and just ended up meeting up with a bunch of other foreigners whom we later ended up spending a good deal of time with. So it was good. That's one thing that I love about hostels. This place picked us up, and it also sort of just introduced us to all the people that were new in the town as well, and we just formed our own little traveling troupe and did our own thing. So yeah, it was really cool. Train travel is definitely a really cool way to do it, but not all at once.